This is assignment 11.5. The first problem says name two inscribed angles. So inscribed angles are going to be the angles that are inside, like this one A and this one over here C. So angle A and angle C. It says name two intercepted arcs. That's going to be the arc you get from making this angle. So you have one up here, this arc from A to D. And then you also have this arc down here that goes from B to C. Next part, it says name an inscribed polygon. So this quadrilateral A, B, C, D would be an inscribed polygon. A pair of opposite angles would be angles across from each other. So if I go with D, it's got to be B. If I go with A, it's going to be C. So I'm going to use angle A and angle C. Number 5, name a pair of supplementary angles. Well, those angles that are across from each other, they are supplementary. So I can use A and C again, or I could have gone with D and B. Number 6 says find the measure of the inscribed angle. So this angle is going to be half of that arc. So if that's 120, then this angle right here is 60 degrees. Over here, this arc is 40. So at the center, that angle would be 40, but it's brought back even farther, so it's smaller. Cut it in half, so 20 degrees. And number 8, this arc would be 240, which means that the center would be 240, but being pulled back gets smaller, so cut it in half. That means that this angle right here would be 120 degrees. That 31 is talking about the angle A. So at the center, it would be relaxed, it would get wider, so you're going to double it. So BC is going to be 62 degrees for the measure of that arc right there. Over here, if this is 90, then once it comes to the center, it would relax, it would get wider, so it's going to be 180. That means this arc is also 180 degrees. Here's 122. At the center, it would relax and it would be a really big angle. So you're going to double that 122 and it's going to be 244. If this is 90, then at the center would be 90, but since it's pulled back, it's half of that. It's 45. On number 13, this diameter makes it so this triangle is a right triangle. Where the X is at has to be a right angle. And that means that this would be what's left over if you go 90 minus 55. So 90 minus 55 is 35. Number 14, the opposite angles are going to be supplementary. So if this is 75, then X and 75 should make 180. Subtract 75 from both sides. X is 105. For the Y, you're going to go across this way. So the Y and the 80 should make 180. Subtract 80 from both sides, and you find out your Y is 100. If this is 85, then if you let it relax and come to the center, would be double that, so that'd be 170. So that means out here is 170. Number 16 is like 14, so the ones that are across from each other, those angles are supplementary. So 180 minus 70 makes X 110, and then Y and 115 are also opposite of each other, so they're supplementary. So then Y would be 180 minus 115, which is 65. So X is 110, Y is 65. Number 17, there's a diameter. This is right through the center. That means X has to be 90 up here. Once you know that's 90, then you can go 90 minus 45, and you find out Y is also 45. It says if the measure of arc ED is 70, find the measure of angle EBD, which is this angle in here. Remember that at the center would be 70, so this is smaller because it's pulled back, so it's cut in half. 35 degrees. Then it says ABE is 40. So ABE, this angle right here is 40. And it says find arc AE. Well, if you brought it to the center, it would be more relaxed, more opened up. So it's going to be double. So it's going to be 80. A blank angle is an angle whose vertex is on the circle and whose side contains chords of the circle. That's inscribed. Number 2, if an angle is inscribed in a circle, then its measure is half the measure of the intercepted arc. If a triangle inscribed in a circle is a right triangle, then the hypotenuse is a diameter of the circle. And if a quadrilateral can be inscribed in a circle, then its opposite angles are supplementary. Find the measure of the inscribed angle or the intercepted arc. So this is the inscribed angle. If it's relaxed and brought to the center, it would get wider, so it's going to be double. So it's 104. Over here, this is already as wide as it would ever get. At the center would be 170. Pulling it back would cut it in half. So 85 degrees. And over here, this intercepted arc is 116. If you brought it out to the center, it would get much bigger. It's going to double. So it'd be 232. It says find the measure of angle BEA. So BEA, if this is 100, at the center would have been 100, but it's out here, so it's smaller. So cut that 100 in half. We're at 50. Then it says find the measure of angle AD. Sorry, find the measure of arc AD. So AD has to be the same thing as the angle. So if this is 100, at the center that's 100, and this would be 180 altogether. So that means this side has to be 80 degrees. So the measure of arc AD is the same as that central angle. So it's also 80. Number 10, it says find the measure of angle BED. BED. If that's a diameter, then BED has to be the right angle right here. And then the last part, angle AED. If this angle's 80 and that arc's 80 and that's pulled back so it's smaller, cut that in half, it's 40. Remember, going across is supplementary. So if this is 82, then x has to be 180 minus 82, so it's 98. And then for y, it's across from 78, so 180 minus 78, that's 102. Number 13, x is across from the right angle, so 180 minus 90 is 90, and y is also across from the right angle, so 180 minus 90, we're at 90 again. Number 14, if that's a diameter, y has to be 90 degrees. It's a right angle right there. And then once you know that that's 90 and you know that's 65, if you subtract those from 180, you'll find out what your x is. So x is 25. Number 15, it says the measure of angle ABC is 54. So if this is 54 degrees in here, it's asking for the arc. Remember, the arc is the same as at the center. At the center, it would be much more opened up, much more relaxed. So you're going to double it. So it's going to be 108 degrees. And then it says if the measure of angle AC, then it says if the measure of arc AC is 106, and it says the measure of ABC is 3x plus 8, then find the value of x. Well, these are not equal. 3x plus 8 is equal to half of this. So I'm going to put 3x plus 8 equal to half of 106, which is 53. And then subtract 8. 3x equals 45. Divide by 3. X equals 15.